Hi, this is Big Phony, and you're watching channelapa.com. Maybe like fifth or sixth grade, I think. Like my brother had a guitar that I wasn't allowed to touch. So like because we had such a competitive kind of sibling rivalry, I would practice his guitar when he wasn't watching, and then one day I just got better. I started writing songs in high school, really because I was a loner, pretty much, and I would come home. I lived in Manhattan, in New York, and not a lot of other kids that lived around me, so I would go straight home and just play quietly my guitar and write songs. Like the walls were thin, so I couldn't play too loud. Yeah, so I developed like this kind of like quiet nature about my sound, I guess, if you can say. Well, like in 2005, I recorded the first album with a friend and producer Ku Chung, and so at one point I was wondering, I thought to myself, you know, like I don't want to be known as Bobby Choi, you know, like I felt like people would they might jump to conclusions, you know, and just kind of like write me off even before listening to me because I had an Asian name, you know. So like, so I thought about it, and the name Big Phony came up, you know. Somehow I was just like, and I thought that would be a good representation of who I am, because a lot of times I don't like myself, and you know, and that's kind of shines through my music. So I went with that. It's also a reference from J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye. So I thought it was interesting and intriguing, and I thought, you know, people might give Big Phony a shot before they did Bobby Choi. So. That whole concept was like developed by a good friend of mine who's also like pretty much the creative side, the visual side of Big Phony, Brian Wan, who is an amazing artist, and he just, I mean, for the past few years, like we've been kind of developing this whole like this kind of like faceless artist, you know, like which is Big Phony, and like for a long time I didn't want people to know what I look like, you know, along the lines with why I chose Big Phony is I want people to go straight to what they hear before what they see. So there is a message behind that, but it's not, I don't dwell on it too long, you know, because I want ultimately everything to be about the music, you know. So I kind of hide my face, you know, I hide my Asianness, I hide, it's more than that, it's like just anything that would keep people away from what they might hear. You know. Another reason why is I just don't like myself photographed. I am not very photogenic, and I almost never like myself in photos. Well, the Mighty 50 videos that have been released have been more like just live performances of me, not so much music videos in the traditional sense, like where there was a shout list and all that. And those Mighty 50 live performances, basically, we just like went out. I brought my guitar, they brought like their camera, and we're like, let's just go out, find a place, and shoot whatever song you feel like singing, you know. And then I ended up explaining them, and it worked together. They cut it well, and I like them. They're nice, you know. They're more. I think they're. I think I like them more than I do like music videos, actually, because I'm not a big fan of music videos unless they can stand on its own as art, as something creative aside from the music, you know. And it's like a plus if the song is great and the visuals are great. But that, honestly, like, that really rarely happens for me. I'm not usually impressed by what I see, I think. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just being an ass. But and I worked on a music video with Chris Chanley, and that was probably my first experience trying. Well, I've done some before that, but that was first time working with a director I really respect, and he's also like someone I've become close friends with. So it was good to work with him and see that through. It was fun. It was cool. Well, Kicking Punching Bags is like a project that has been in the works, like, I would say. It's been in my head for the past few years, you know. It's actually the album that should have came out before the last, which was Straight to Bootleg. Straight to Bootleg was just a whole bunch of recordings I did at home on my laptop, you know. It's not really an album, you know. But I released that because I didn't really have the means to make Kicking Punching Bags at the time. So then I met Jason Hiller, who also plays bass with me on live shows, and he happens to be a producer, and so he offered to help me out with the album. So we put it together like over a year ago. Actually, we started December 2008. And we finished it within a few months, actually, and I kind of been sitting on it for almost a year for one reason or another. And then, so now it's ready to come out on Tuesday, but it's really a collection of a lot of songs that I'm kind of past. So, which is fine. Like, I still want people to hear these songs the way they were intended to be recorded, or some of them are remakes, redone, you know. Half of the album are songs that were released on Straight to Bootleg, but we re-recorded it for this one to do it properly. And so, yeah, I hope people like it, but I hope they know that there's more in store, because I'm getting started right away on the next project. So, yeah, so excited for that.